Hello everyone and welcome back. So hopefully you managed to finish and solve all the mysteries from the Pirate Island. I might go back to it if you really need it a bit later on, but for the moment it's not really needed. I mean, you will not need the file for the common project right now. First, I wanted to talk about something else, which was, of course, world design, how to create your world and what define it. Okay? So from my point of view, this is a really simple explanation, of course, because because you don't want me to talk about it for hours again. So what is a world? It's just a set, a group, or even one entity that is following some kind of rules. Okay? That might be a bit short to define it, but think about that. You don't need any living creatures. You don't need any story, which will be brought by events and some kind of progression somewhere in characters, in feelings, in movements, or like in places and situations. Okay? So world, it's basically could be just a set. Okay? But of course, to make it richer, you will add characters. But then even a set can have a personality. Okay? And of course, then you can have in your mind something like a world could be a nice and colorful place, like balls that are bouncing around, or maybe something like a very sad and rainy place where you've got just cubes trying to roll on their sides very heavily and sad. Okay? So that is up to you. You can create whatever you want. But the thing I wanted to highlight was those three things that I can think about that would make it, of course, simpler to be accessible, but still enough for you guys who are more advanced or experienced to work on. And these are the shape, colors, and the light. Okay? Those three things can help us define our own world. Okay? So let's talk about it a bit deeper. If you think about shapes, here are two of them. So I think I don't need to ask you, just in case. You can recognize what they are. On the left, it's a house, and on the right, it's a mushroom. I had set the three traits in order, shapes, colors, and light, and I'm gonna demonstrate it to you why. If you take those two shapes, which represents objects, and then you give them colors, okay, the colors is the second one, you can see, the house on the left is still a house, and the mushroom is still a mushroom. But what if we invert those colors? What do you think? Is the house still a house? Or is the mushroom now a house? Of course, I can hear you saying yes, but sometimes you have little people that lives in mushrooms, so they are their own houses. Okay, but that's not the point. This is to say that the shape is the primary thing that we see and that we understand. And that is why we can sometimes see like elephants or faces in clouds. There are still clouds, but we can just say, oh, that's an elephant. Okay, so now that we've established that colors come after shapes, we can then work on this. Okay, they are the same shape, but different colors. You can say, like for example, that the sphere on the left looks like an orange, and the sphere on the right could be something like a tennis ball. Not really a lemon, because the shape is not exactly that of a lemon, but okay, we understand that the color also adds information. And then, of course, if the left one is an orange, the third trait was about lights. And you can understand now that if I change the light scenarios, it could be this one, or maybe this one, and maybe again a third one. And I think you will agree with me if you thought this orange sphere was an orange, like the fruit, then no matter how we lit it, it's still an orange. We still understand it as being an orange. The lighting scenarios will add mood to your scene, like sadness or happiness. Okay? So, now that this is understood, our next exercise, because this year, guys, I'm gonna give you a lot of exercises. I was asked to make people practice more, to remember better, and also because practice makes perfect. I want you to do something close to perfection, not perfect, but close to it. So let's dive right into it. The first thing we're gonna work on, of course, is shapes. Okay? So it's simple. Here you've got black and white images. Okay? Just in case there are things you don't know how to do, you can still go back to my Blender Basics playlist, which is linked in the description, and you will have all the necessary tips to be able to use like images as a reference in the background of your Blender scene. Okay? So based on that, there are black and white. The exercise is simple. You've got 3 sets of them, from a basic one, an intermediate one, and maybe a more advanced one. First one being you can use primitives and just transform them, like move, rotate, or scale them to achieve the same silhouettes. The second one, I've used edit mode manipulations. So, meaning I switch from object mode to edit mode, and I modified the shapes and the object using the first type of transformations, but also the tools available in edit mode. And then the third row takes also into consideration the use of modifiers. Again, if you want to know more about those, you can follow the Alchemist Workshop playlist, linked in the description, where I use those and I explain which they are and how to use them. But otherwise, you can just stick to the first one if you're a beginner, and that will be enough. Trust me, you don't need to do like very, very pro work when you're just starting out, of course. This is not expected from you, and you will not get frustrated by trying to tackle something which is too difficult for you. Okay? So, I hope that you liked the lesson today, and that you will enjoy also the exercises. Next time, I think we'll tackle colors and lights, again with several levels of difficulty. And after that, maybe we will be ready to create our own worlds. Okay, everybody, I'll see you next time. Be safe, be creative, be yourself, enjoy your life. I'll see you soon. Bye.